Bricks, it's Brickley here, and welcome to episode 17 of Building Mordor in LEGO. And in this series, I'm building the entirety of Mordor. I'm gonna build Barad-dûr, Minas Morgul, Cirith Ungol, Mount Doom, but currently I'm working on the battle at the Black Gate. And as you can see, it's really looking immense. I got the entire Black Gate over here in the middle. And in the previous episode of Building Mordor in LEGO, I actually started working on the rock work over there behind the Black Gate. So that's the start of the mountain is actually there. I just got to finish it over there on top over there. And as you can see, I placed this entire structure section, which we're going to take a look at in a second. But I'm really happy with the rock work. And if you haven't seen the previous episode, episode 16 of Building Mordor in LEGO, I highly suggest that you go and click the card on the top right corner of the screen to watch that video so you can see my epic time lapse on how I built this entire section of the big mountain, which is going to be right over here behind the Black Gate. So I'm really excited for continuing building the rock work over here, and I actually made some preparations over here. As you can see, I didn't do this on camera on purpose because I wanted to try out a couple of building techniques and I didn't want to promise you anything. So this was a sort of new project I wanted to work on. As you can see, it's pretty sturdy. It's actually attached really well to the little part of course, the plate system over here, as you can see. So I can just pull on this and the entire plate will just come apart over there. So that definitely is great. And I'm just going to go and remove this Technic pin for now for making it easier to shove in this entire plate system. But as you can see, this just is a sort of big structure part over here. I actually built this with a couple of pillars over here, and I also used a lot of my dark bluish gray plates to sort of have a lot of sturdiness within this big part of the structuring behind the rock work over here. And I especially made a couple of these pieces right here on purpose, as you can see, because right now I can actually just attach a couple of plates to this right over here, and of course on this height, as you can see, and on this height, so I can add a lot of burr pieces and make sure that the entire structure over here is going to be really sturdy. And in addition to that as well, as you can see over here, this part is actually just attached to this plate, so I can just shove it out. And I'm also going to add a big structure part over here on this side of this plate, so that's also really just going to be modular. That's what I wanted to have within my battle at the Black Gate mock. I want to keep everything modular so I can just pack everything up and make sure that everything is stored underneath my table, or when I'm going to go to a LEGO convention, I'm just going to be able to easily shove everything out of course, the entire mock, and make sure I can just easily put everything back together when I arrive at a LEGO convention, so all of you can take a look at the entire battle at the Black Gate mock for yourselves. That is my ultimate goal, of course, for this series. But over here, I'm really happy with this piece. It really took a little bit of trial and error. As you can see, this is the final design for this, and it doesn't really look that good from this point of view, but I actually kept these open spaces over here so I can actually fill in a couple of the caves with, of course, some epic scenes for the orcs. That definitely is really awesome in my opinion. I mean, I can just have one cave over here, then another one over here, another one cave over here, and then another cave over here. So I can have a lot of caves within this structure piece right over here. And as you can see, it's also sturdily attached over here. I got these plates right here, as you can see, and these actually make sure that the whole structure won't fall over that easily. So as you can see, I can just really just shove it, and as you can see, it isn't really moving. So I can just shake it as much as I want and it will just stay in place. Oh wait, this part right here detached, but that was a little mistake with, of course, building. But as you can see, it's really sturdy, and I'm really happy with this structuring piece. But I'm just going to go and show you how I'm actually creating these pieces. So right over here, I got these plate rows. As you can see, I got 4 plates on top of each other for the entire row of plates. Actually got 3 of these ready, so I can use them for this big structuring part over here, which I'm actually going to use over here. As you can see, I'm just going to go and put it like this. And I still got to build a lot more of these sort of structuring parts over here underneath the plates. So I'm going to do that after, of course, showing you everything I want to do in today's episode of Building Mordor in LEGO. But yeah, I'm going to go and work on this. I'm going to just go and of course make sure that this is right about this height over here, so I can definitely continue building the rock work over here, because that's another goal. I want to make sure that this rock work is actually going to go around the tower over here and of course into the big mountain on this side of the black gate. That definitely is something amazing. And if everything over here with the rock work is just going to be one big solid piece, which I'm not going to be able to take apart, I won't be able to remove this wall piece over here and display the black gate without all of the landscaping and of course the rock work. And that is one of the main things I wanted to do. I wanted to make sure that I can still remove the black gate from this entire part of the landscaping and put it on my shelf so I can still have a look at it, of course display it within my LEGO The Lord of the Rings collection without having to put the entire part of the landscaping and all of the rock work on my table, so I can just easily store everything underneath my table over here. So yeah, that's really something I want to achieve. I want to make sure that everything over here is going to be a modular part. So just imagine I'm going to have a couple pieces of rock work over here like this on this height, and I'm going to have a lot of tiles on there with a couple of studs, so I can just easily remove a big part of the rock work on top of here. That just takes a lot of imagining, but I'm really looking forward to building all of that, and I think it's just going to look great, and in my opinion. So I really think that's definitely something you're going to like. Of course, the fact that it's going to be modular. But yeah, right now I'm just going to go and work on this piece right here. And there's actually also something I want to show you. I'm going to put this piece right about over here, so that the mountain over here is really going to be high, and that's something I really want to make sure that the mountain is going to be right around the height of the towers, maybe even a little higher, so it really is going to look massive with of course the entire Mordor orc army marching out and of course all of the mountain in the background. So that definitely is going to look amazing. But the sort of system which I'm going to use is actually that I'm just going to go and show you real quick. I'm going to go and add a lot of these burr pieces on here. So I'm just going to go and attach them like this. And I'm going to do that up till this height right here. I'm going to do that in this area right over here as well. And of course with the rock work in front of the black gate also over here, as you can see behind the tower. I'm also going to add a couple of those burr pieces right here. So all the rock work is going to curve into a huge mountain over here. Also going to curve into this little tunnel over here. And this area right here is actually going to be exposed. So this area right over here isn't going to have any rock work over here. So that definitely is an exposed area where my orcs can just march up into the tower. Definitely something amazing. And I'm also looking into sort of building a little ladder system over here into, of course, this bigger wall piece. That would really look amazing in my opinion. But yeah, I'm really happy with all of the support. I think it really is just a big, massive, and sturdy part of the Blackgate MOC. And that's really necessary. I didn't want to use a lot of pieces. I think this really is parts efficient. I mean, I did use a lot of plates within this system, and that's definitely something I can learn from when I'm going to build the rockwork of Minas Morgul in the future. But I don't have a lot of pieces right now to use. As you can see, I got a lot of bricks over here in this bin. And most of these actually came from all of these bags over here. And what's interesting is that I actually sorted a lot of parts in my vlogs from back in the day. And those were for of course, the UCS collection Lego Rivendell from Lego Mocklock. Of course, the UCS collection Weathertop. I wanted to build all of those sets. And I'm definitely going to build those awesome MOC projects from Lego Mocklock. He's actually just an amazing builder. And I highly suggest you go and click the card on the top right corner of the screen to go to the playlist where I have a lot of reviews of course, the Lego Mocklock projects, because his projects are just insane. They have a lot of detail. As you can see, this entire Rivendell part over here is just a small part of the entire city of Rivendell, which he designed. And I'm definitely going to get to building a big Rivendell MOC in the future with, of course, his awesome MOC, but that's something for the future, because right now we're going to focus on the Blackgate. But yeah, I got a ton of those pieces from, of course, those bags. So I got a lot of those 1x2. We got those 2x4 bricks over here. I got a couple of these corner pieces, some of those 2x3 bricks over here, a lot of 2x2 bricks. We got those 1x4 bricks, and most of these are actually the 1x2 two bricks over here, which are just really useful. As you can see, I'm using a sort of technique over here where I'm just gonna place one of those 1x2 bricks underneath a 2x4 brick over here, as you can see. And this is the entire technique right here. So I place one of these 2x4 bricks right here, and then after that I also place this brick aside it, and then I'm just gonna go and put this brick on top, and it's really sturdy. As you can see, I can just pull on this and it won't budge. It won't break. As you can see, it will break on the bottom, but that doesn't really matter because it's really sturdy, and I'm really happy with how it's looking so far. I think it really looks great, and I tried to keep the space between these pillars a little bit larger because I want to also create bigger caves within the rock work over here. In addition to all of these pieces right here, I also got a lot of these plates from the bags with the pre-sorted pieces for LEGO Mocklock's projects. As you can see, I got a lot of these dark bluish gray plates, the 4x6 plates. I also got some longer ones. As you can see, we got the 4x10, I believe, over here, and a lot of smaller plates over here. As you can see, the 1x4, we got 1x3 plates, even 1x1 stud or plates over here. As you can see, we got the 2x4 plates over here. There's definitely a lot of useful pieces which I can use for the landscaping right over here in this area, which I'm also gonna build in this episode of Building Mordor in LEGO. And over here, actually, as you can see, I'm also just gonna awesomely detail this entire section behind the black gate. I'm really looking forward to doing that, so that's definitely something awesome. And over here, as you can see, I also got this bin filled with a couple of slopes. So as you can see, I got these, let me see, 2x2 slopes with, of course, 2 heights. Also a couple of other slopes. We got the 2x2 slopes with 3 bricks height. These inverted slopes over here as well, which are going to prove really useful for inside the rock work for the caves. That's really something I look forward to designing. And I also got a couple of those 1x2 slopes over here, so also really useful pieces. And in addition to that as well, I also got these dark tan plates over here, also really useful for the area right over here. Of course, the area right over here in front of the black gate is going to display a couple of scenes. For example, over here, I'm going to have the big rock with, of course, Frodo and Sam looking at the Easterling army right over there marching into the black gate. And I'm also going to have, of course, the start of the Death Marshes over here somewhere, so that definitely is also something epic to look forward to. Yes, I want to build every little location from Middle-earth within my LEGO The Lord of the Rings collection, and I'm definitely going to put a lot of those locations within my awesome LEGO The Lord of the Rings mocks, so I really look forward to creating all of those little scenes within my awesome Battle at the Black Gate mock. I actually had to be really creative with all of these pieces because I have so few at the moment, and this is actually my third design for, of course, the big structuring behind the mountain. I actually had 2 previous designs which you're never gonna see because I'm really ashamed of them breaking a lot. I mean, I was just building a lot of the structuring designs for behind the rock work over here, and I placed one part on this plate system and everything collapsed. So that really was a bit of a shame. But yeah, I actually got this awesome design and it's really sturdy, so I'm really happy with that. But right now, I'm just gonna go and continue building, and I'll show you the end result when I finish that. So as you can see, I just finished setting up all of this over here. I actually attached all of the plates onto this awesome pillar structure part behind the entire mountain, so it won't really budge that much, as you can see. And I'm also going to attach it to, of course, the rock work over here, so it's really going to be a sturdy and really supportive part of the mountain, and that's what I wanted to achieve. As you can see, the holes over here in the middle are a lot larger than the holes holes on, of course, this other part of the structure. I'm going to just show you so you can see for yourself. These holes are a lot smaller, so these are going to be used for some smaller caves within the mountain. And then the holes over here on the left are actually a lot bigger, so those are going to be filled with some awesome, epic, and bigger caves. So that's definitely something to look forward to. And of course, when I'm going to work on the left side over here, the left mountain of the Black Gate, I'm going to put one big cave over here, and you're going to see what that cave is going to be filled with in the future of building Mordor in LEGO. So I'm really excited for that. But right now, I only have the pieces to build the big mountain on this side of the Black Gate, of course on the right side, because I actually building this part over here, this big structure, as you saw just now, actually drained all of my pieces. So this bin was filled with a lot of parts, and as you can see, it just drained this entire bin of parts, which I can use for the right side of the Black Gate. So I'm actually out of these pieces right here. As you can see, a lot of those bricks. And I also have used up all of my 2x4 blue bricks, which I got in a massive hole. So that's really unfortunate. I had around 2,000 of those, and I actually used up all of them for the landscaping and, of course, the rock work over here. So I hope I can finish the rock work over here without any other structuring pieces. I am, however, going to use a lot of pieces, like, of course, these plates over here. So I'm definitely going to use these plates to connect this structuring part over here to the rock work, so everything won't fall apart that easily, because I don't have any other bricks. So I'm really just forced to use these plates. But that doesn't really matter, because this entire bin right here is still filled with dark bluish gray plates, which I can use in this area. And I'm gonna, of course, also use all of these plates for Minas Morgul. So there's gonna be plenty left over for using a lot of these plates for the landscaping of Minas Morgul, and of course the battle at the Black Gate over here. So that's definitely something positive. So right now, I'm actually just gonna go and continue building the rock work up till this point around here, because I really want to see what that is going to look like. So I'm going to use a lot of these burr pieces over here. These are actually already filled in with these 2x6 plates over here, so that those are really just easy to grab. And I also got the box with all of the burr pieces underneath the table right over here, as you can see. So I'm just going to go and continue building the big mountain on the left side of the Black Gate. And if you are enjoying my Building Mordor in LEGO series, of course, let me know by leaving a like on this video to support it. Go subscribe to Brickley if you are new to my channel. And of course, ring that notification bell to stay updated on when I post any LEGO videos. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into building the rock work. So everyone, I just finished building a huge chunk of the big mountain on the left side behind the black gate. And as you can see, it's starting to look really good and also very big. As you can see, it is a enormous mountain. And it's going to be a lot bigger in the future because this enormous mountain is going to be will end up around this height over here. That definitely is a high height for this mountain. So the mountain is definitely going to be huge. But I started business as usual. I just had these support pieces behind the mountain, as you can see, and they were a bit wobbly. As you can see, this part right over here is still a bit wobbly because there aren't really a lot of plates and burr pieces attached to this support piece right here because I haven't filled everything over here in with pieces, but I'm gonna do that soon enough. But as you can see, I got these plates over here on top of the rock work. And as you can see, these are sort of stabilizers. So these prevent, of course, this big chunk of rock work from moving. And as you can see, it just is a huge chunk which I can just lift off and put in a huge box which I can just carry around to, of course, some LEGO conventions in the future. Hint, hint. But yeah, that's definitely something epic in my opinion. And I actually got this little part right over here. As you can see, one of these plate systems that's actually bothering me because it prevents me from shoving this in right here. So I'm just going to go and move that and shove the rock work right back where it is supposed to be. So as you can see, we got this entire chunk over here, and I didn't expect that I would build this much rock work in today's episode of building Mordor in LEGO. As you can see, there's a lot to discuss over here on the rock work. So as you saw in the time lapse, I actually started laying down a lot of these burr pieces, and because I actually ran out of these plates over here in light bluish gray color with the Technic holes over here in the middle of the plate, and as you can see, I also used those within dark bluish gray color without the Technic holes. I frequently use those throughout this entire part of the mountain, but I didn't really have a lot of those left. I ran out of those plates, so I had to come up with something new. So I started using these plates right here. And you might say that it's a bit of a shame that I'm using those pieces, but yeah, I just want to go and continue building the rock work, and that is why I need to use all of those pieces. So as you can see over here, I got this entire bin, and it's still pretty full with these pieces, and they're definitely not going anywhere. I mean, the only part I need to finish of building Mordor in LEGO, the Battle at the Black Gate, is right over here with these pieces. And I still also have this entire bin right over here filled with these, let me see here, 6x6 dark bluish gray plates. I got these 4x10 plates over here, so a lot of useful plates which I can use for building the landscaping of the Black Gate mock over here, but also for, of course, Minas Morgul. So that definitely is a lot to look forward to, and I think I have a lot of pieces which I can definitely use. But yeah, you can see I used a lot of those snot techniques on the rock work with these pieces over here. Actually added a lot of those plates on the sides, as you can see, and you can just move them a bit, as you can see, and I think it's a pretty nice technique. I used a couple over here, and as you can see, one of those plate systems right over here, and I think this area is a bit empty, so I might even destroy this part over here and replace it with a couple of these plate systems over here, but I'm not sure. I may even add a couple over here on top to balance it out, but I'm not sure about that. But as you can see, I used a lot of these 1x2x3 slopes over here. So I used a lot of those, and as you can see, it really turned out to create a nice effect for the rock work. And I also used a couple of those 1x3 slopes in dark bluish gray color, and of course the 1x2 slopes frequently over here, as you can see. So I used a lot of pieces for the rock work. And you gotta imagine, we started around this height over here, as you can see. So I built a lot of rock work in this episode of building Mordor in LEGO. As you can see, we started around this height over here. That's just insane. I built double what I had in the previous episode of building Mordor in LEGO. So I'm really happy with the results of the rock work so far. As you can see, this entire area right over here is actually going to be a lot higher, so I'm going to place a lot more burr pieces on top of this soon. But yeah, I really got to get a lot more pieces for the rock work. I don't have enough slopes to continue right now. Well, I could build a little bit of rock work, but I do want to continue building some rock work over here in the front, and of course start working on the landscaping in this area right over here. So as you saw, these plates over here, I'm going to use those plates for the landscaping. But right now I'm just going to go and remove this bin and show you some pieces. As you can see, I got a ton of random pieces laying around over here. Really got to get a little bit of order into my Lego room soon. As you can see, I got a couple of slopes. So I got these inverted slopes, and I'm actually running out on these, but you might, well, just don't notice, but these pieces are quite expensive on Bricklink. So I'm really gonna just look for a good deal to get these, because I actually use these sometimes. As you can see, I frequently use them underneath these sort of pieces right here. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and let me see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I already used 10 and even more throughout this entire part of the mountain over here. And just imagine, I'm gonna need a lot more to finish this part right over here. And of course over there, the rock work behind the tower. So I'm going to need a lot more of these pieces to work on the rock work and continue building some awesome rock work. Because I want to keep the quality of the mountain as good as possible. As you can see, this really looks amazing in my opinion. And it really makes sure that the mountain is steep, and actually it is steep on the bottom over here, but the mountain is going to curve off over here on the top. So that is something I have in mind, and I think it's just going to look amazing, as you can see right over here. So this part over here is steep, and it's going to just curve into, of course, nothingness over here, because there's nothing behind the mountain over here. This is just going to be the border of Mordor. But yeah, I think it really is going to look amazing when the mountain over here on the top is going to curve into nothingness. Of course, that's just going to look amazing in my opinion. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to building that, and of course using a lot of these pieces right here. I got a lot of these 1x2 slopes left. As you can see, I got these 2 compartments filled with a lot of these 1x2 slopes. And then I also got a lot of these 1x3 slopes left, as you can see. And I don't really use these pieces a lot in comparison to, of course, those other pieces. Let me show you right over here. I actually got a drawer filled with a lot of these pieces right here for the rock work. As you can see, I got these 1x2x3 slopes over here, and I use these a lot more in comparison to the 1x2 and 1x3 slopes. And I also need to get a lot more of these 1x2x2 slopes over here, because these really are just useful for switching up the rock work over here. As you can see, I frequently use these 1x2x3 height slopes over here, and it's sort of nice to add a little bit of a break between them with these slopes over here. So that definitely is the main reason why I want to get a lot more of these pieces right here. So I only have one just now, so I really got to get a lot more of those pieces, and I'm definitely going to walk you through me buying a lot more pieces in the next episode of Building Mordor in LEGO. I want to show you how I get all of my pieces, because I actually get frequently asked where I actually get all of my pieces and how I buy them and how much all of these pieces cost. So I'm just going to go and show you that in the next episode of Building Mordor in LEGO. But yeah, I'm really happy with how the rock work turned out so far. And as you can see, I also got a lot of other pieces right over here actually on this side of the room. As you can see, I got this bin filled with a lot of rock work pieces, which I can still use. Actually got these from some leftover collection, so that definitely is looking great. And as you can see, it's just quite a mess in my Lego room over here. Actually also sorting a lot of pieces right over here. But yeah, I'm really happy with the rock work over here. And the main thing I need to do on the left side of the mountain over here is actually create a lot of rock work behind the tower and of course the higher wall over here. And I need to connect that to the big mountain over there. But that's everything I need to do on the left side. I mean, most of it is done aside from the caves over there. But I think it really is starting to look amazing. And if we're going to go and compare this big mountain to a minifigure, as you can see, I got a Moria orc right over here climbing the mountain with his pickaxe and of course this climbing tool. As you can see, he's just climbing the mountain over here. And that's actually one of the main reasons why I added these plates over here on the side especially for detail, but also for some scenes such as these, because I want to have a couple of orcs just climbing down. As you can see, I want to have the Moria orcs just climbing down and running towards the black gates as a sort of swarm. So that definitely is something great. I actually took inspiration from the Fellowship of the Ring. Of course, the scene where all of the Moria orcs are swarming through some holes, of course, chasing the Fellowship down in a big hole with all of those pillars. So I think that definitely is going to look great in my opinion. So I'm going to have a couple of orcs just running down over here on these plates. And I especially think that these pieces look really great with, of course, the slopes over here curving into the main rock work over here. I try to keep it as natural as possible. And of course, I really wanted to have these slopes over here, as you can see, sort of to integrate well within the rock work. As you can see, this sort of is a transition from this side panel into the rock work over here. And I really kept a couple of studs visible, so that definitely makes it look like a Lego mountain in my opinion. And I think that really looks amazing. As you can see, here's a view of the rock work from the top. And as you can see, it really looks amazing with the rock work. It's really steep, as you can see, but I'm really happy with that. As you can see, it curves off nicely into the landscaping over here. And I'm definitely going to add a lot more detail to this area right over here. I'm sort of debating on how I'm actually going to go and fill this area right over here, because that's really hard. But I may end up just adding a couple of burr pieces right over here. But however, I can't do that right now because I'm really running low on a lot of the support pieces, because I used a lot of those for building these big support structures to build the main rock work over here. That was really an important task. As you can see over here, I actually got a bin filled with a couple of support pieces over here. So I got a couple of these 1x2 bricks left, one by one. Let me see, 1x2 bricks. And of course, I got a lot of these 1x something bricks over here. So a lot of useful pieces, but I gotta get a lot more. So in the next episode of Building Mordor in LEGO, and I'm actually just gonna show you how I'm gonna purchase all of my parts from Bricklink. I frequently buy parts from Bricklink. This isn't any promotion at all for Bricklink. I think it's just a wonderful website to get your pieces. I usually get all of my pieces from Bricklink stores, but on rare occasions, I actually order pieces from lego.com. As you can see, this entire black gate, the main gate itself, all of the black pieces and brown pieces, actually most of those came from lego.com, the brick surface. And on other occasions, I also go to the Lego store and, of course, do a pick a brick session over there with, of course, that awesome bucket. That really is a nice experience. And if you haven't done that, I really recommend it because it's just fun filling up that bucket. But yeah, I'm really happy with the rock work so far. And before I'm going to go and close off this video, I got a lot of comments to shout out, but in a special way. So as you can see, here are all of the comments I want to shout out in today's episode of Building Mordor in LEGO. And I'm actually going to keep all of these pieces of paper to myself. I'm going to keep these in a drawer, and I'm actually going to go and collect these and keep these for the rest of my life, because I really want to keep all of your comments, and they're really precious to me. I really love the fact that all of you are commenting and supporting my videos. So I'm just gonna go and reward you by shouting out a couple of comments. So I got 5 Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit quotes over here, and I think these just are amazing and fit really well with, of course, Building Mordor in LEGO. And don't worry, if I'm not gonna shout out your comment right now, I'm actually gonna give you a chance to get a shout out in a next episode of Building Mordor in LEGO. So comment your favorite, the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit quote, in the comment section down below. And if you have any questions regarding Building Mordor in LEGO, of course, also ask them in the comment section down below. And who knows, maybe you get a shout out in the next episode, and I'll definitely respond to all of your comments. So feel free to ask anything and comment. Just go ahead and do that. I love the community, and I'm really here for all of you, as you can see, with Building Mordor in LEGO. So we're going to go and start out with the first comment over here. I'm going to shout out Malcolm. As you can see, he commented 5 days ago, "It's a dangerous business, Frodo, going out your door. You step onto the road, and if you don't keep your feet, there's no knowing where you might be swept off to." An amazing quote from, of course, the Fellowship of the Ring movie. Awesome quote. And he also left this little postscriptum over here. After all, both Frodo and Bilbo started off from the same road, but together went to different destinations throughout Middle Earth. Awesome note over here. Really is just, that's the truth over there for this quote. Next up, we got a comment from Joel Burkle. Thank you for being such an awesome and loyal fan to the Brickley channel. Looks great as always. I wish you all the best and make your videos. So thank you for that, Joel Burkle. But right now, I'm going to just go and read your comment and, of course, the quote. The world is changing. Who now has the strength to stand against the armies of Isengard and Mordor, to stand against the might of Sauron and Saruman and the union of the two towers? Together, my lord Sauron, we shall rule this Middle Earth. That's just a little bit of an impression of Saruman's quote, but I really like the fact that you commented this quote, because one day I'm going to build Isengard as well, so that definitely is going to look interesting. And over here, next up, we actually got a quote from Nina Rosa, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Nina Rosa. And over here, we got, I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you. Awesome quote. I'm actually going to recreate that scene in, of course, my Mount Doom mock for building Mordor in LEGO. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for commenting that. And, of course, hashtag bring back LEGO The Lord of the Rings. We can't do this together. So go comment hashtag bring back LEGO The Lord of the Rings. We are a big movement, and we're going to bring back LEGO The Lord of the Rings as a LEGO theme. And next up over here, we got a comment from J4Me06, and as you can see, we got the entire speech of over here of Aragorn, and I'm definitely going to set up that scene right over here. That is also going to look amazing. So thank you for commenting that quote. You are really just a man of the West, as you can see over here. And then as you can see over here, we got the final quote over here from Ethan Weedle. As you can see, hashtag bring back LEGO The Lord of the Rings. Indeed, we need to bring back this magnificent theme. I never thought I'd die fighting side by side with an elf. How about a friend? I can do that. And over here, we got the second quote over here. In one way, you have not changed, dear friend. How is that? You still speak in riddles. Awesome quotes. I really like all of the quotes you commented, and I think these really are superb. And if you haven't reached a shout out in this episode of Building Mordor in LEGO, I encourage you to comment your favorite quote from The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and who knows, maybe you'll get a shout out in the next episode of Building Mordor in LEGO. But yeah, this is going to be the end of episode 17 of Building Mordor in LEGO. As you can see, we got a lot of the rock work behind the Black Gate done, as you can see, and it's really starting to look amazing with the rock work over there. It really is starting to look like a superb mock. As you can see, the entire area over there with my shelf and, of course, the closet over there, the white closet in the back, isn't even visible anymore because of the mountain. And that's going to be a lot higher, so this entire area is just going to be an amazing view of Mordor. And just imagine, we have the rock work right over there, I'm going to have Minas Morgul right over there, and of course the big Tower of Barad-dûr and Mount Doom in the back over there. A lot of epic stuff to come in the future. But if you did enjoy watching this episode of Building Mordor in LEGO, of course let me know by leaving a like to support this series. Go subscribe to Brickley if you are new to my channel. Hashtag Team Brickley, and of course ring that notification bell to stay updated on when I post any LEGO videos. And I'll see you all in the next episode of Building Mordor in LEGO.
It's in the air like a blazing flare. Just stare 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the